Hey guys, you got Tyler Charette here from CrowdRise. I work on the enterprise success team and I am a senior success specialist. Today we have an awesome guest over at CureJM. Welcome Shannon Malloy. She is the Director of Operations and Development and she's an absolute all-star. Hi Shannon.
Thank you guys. We're honored to be part of the CrowdRise team.
Okay, well let's get going then. I'll just jump right into the first question. Tell us about the CureJM Foundation organization itself. How many people, what types of fundraising efforts, and how long have you worked with CrowdRise?
So CureJM Foundation is a nonprofit based on rare disease juvenile myositis, which includes juvenile dermatomyositis and juvenile polymyositis. It's what is considered a rare or ultra rare disease affecting only a couple of children out of each million born in the US. Our mission is to find a cure and better treatments for juvenile myositis and improve the lives of all families affected by JM. We currently have about 3,000 families in CureJM and about 3,000 kids, which is really, really great because many of our families have never met another family like them until joining CureJM. Having that peer-to-peer support for both the parents, the kids, and the families is really important.
What types of campaigns do you utilize peer-to-peer fundraising for as opposed to donate-only activities?
So at CureJM, we have two programs where we do peer-to-peer fundraising. The first is our signature fundraising program, which is our Walk Strong to CureJM, which we run through CrowdRise. This is a phenomenal program. It's in its third year right now in 2018, and we started from one walk in 2016 to 5 and now to 14 walks planned. So the program is growing fast with the support of CrowdRise and all of the amazing CureJM families that are out raising funds. So how the walk program works is families sign up for a walk in their region and then friends and family join them to form a walk team and raise funds for research. You know, my advice would be not to ask supporters to raise funds, but instead to really get to know your supporters, know why they understand your cause, know why they support your cause, and why they believe in your mission and what you're trying to achieve. And as they walk beside you on what you're trying to achieve, they'll see the opportunities for them to jump in and get involved and make a difference, and they'll want to be a part of that partnership versus just wanting to be someone who sends an email or shares a link. They'll want to walk with you on that journey to do all the amazing stuff that your group is trying to do out in the world. And my biggest advice would be to know your supporters and to know what makes them tick, to know why they support you, because then you can speak to them and partner together on raising the funds that you both know are so important to achieve your mission. Instead of making every donation and every peer-to-peer campaign a transaction, you really make it a partnership where year after year after year, you're both partnering to do the good that you guys know needs to be done in the world.
Who were your original fundraisers and how did you encourage them to start fundraising?
CureJM has a little bit of a special history where this is an organization started by parents and grandparents of children fighting this rare disease. So our original fundraisers were all parents and grandparents, and we've kind of grown up, so to speak, as an organization built top to bottom with peer-to-peer fundraising. So through most of the years, peer-to-peer fundraising has been CureJM's key source of revenue. So it's not really something that we've added to our repertoire. It's really been sort of our bread and butter over the years.
What forms of communication do you use to motivate people to help support you?
I think one of the most important things to encourage fundraising is to give your supporters and donors an elevator pitch as to why their donation makes a difference and why their gift is so appreciated by your organization. One of the things that is so important at CureJM is every single supporter is truly valued for what they're doing for our kids. The thank yous are sincere, and the care and the gratitude that we feel for our families and our supporters is so genuine, and that comes through because they know that each of them is important and each of them makes a difference and each of them makes more research possible. And when your supporters and donors know that they're making a difference, they'll want to walk beside you and keep that difference going however they can, whether it's raising funds or making additional gifts or getting involved as a volunteer. And all of that plays off of them understanding why they make a difference. And you have to be able to articulate how every single supporter advances your mission.
How do you support your active fundraisers? So what tools do you provide? What CrowdRise features do you use? And do you reward them in any way?
So to support our fundraisers, we love to provide them with the tools from CrowdRise because the messaging from CrowdRise is so on point. It's fun, it's short, it's quick, and it makes the whole experience fun. I think that's one thing that organizations will find value in is keeping it light and keeping it fun and keeping things between you and your supporters and between your supporters and their networks as fun as possible. One thing that I would say you could provide to fundraisers and supporters would just be encouragement. You don't necessarily want to offer rewards, in my opinion, for results. I would suggest offering rewards just for participation, because a fundraiser is not going to be able to control whether or not anybody gives in their honor, but they can control if they tried. And that's kind of the key point that you want to make with your supporters is when you try and you give a little bit of effort to support our cause, we are so grateful and so appreciative, and that kind of support might grow next year or the year after in different ways. In my opinion, rewards for fundraising could be kind of fun, but I don't think it's necessarily anything that should stop you from doing fundraising because you don't have rewards.
Have you ever lost potential supporters or donors because asking them to fundraise was too much?
One suggestion I would make is when a supporter donates to your cause, you thank that supporter for everything that they've done because it should come from a place of genuine appreciation. You're grateful for them, they're supporting your cause, and they're making your mission possible. I wouldn't ask a supporter to fundraise. I would instead explain to our supporters how every dollar makes a difference and how there are opportunities to volunteer. You could volunteer your time, you can volunteer your treasure, you could volunteer your talent, and some people may choose to fundraise. Asking a supporter to fundraise can be very tricky. They have probably figured out that there's ways for them to help by raising funds. So if you do ask a supporter to raise money for you, I would suggest making it more of a soft ask where you present an opportunity to help, but you don't necessarily ask in a way that they feel like what they've done already isn't enough. But instead, you explain to them how walking beside you on this journey to achieve your mission is something that you both want to do. And if you do it together as peer-to-peer fundraisers, then your mission goes even further than you both thought was possible. So you kind of put it as a soft ask because they want to support you.
From day one, have you found it easier to turn people that maybe didn't know what CrowdRise was, or maybe they were already donors? Have you found it easier to turn those people into engaged supporters or engaged fundraisers?
I do think it's easier to recruit fundraisers for charitable causes now because most people that you run into, supporters or even people who aren't supporters of your cause yet, are familiar with peer-to-peer fundraising now versus 5 or 10 years ago when maybe it was less so. People are familiar with GoFundMe and with charity walks and charity runs and charity events where people go out and ask for donations for a good cause. So I do feel like in some ways it is easier to recruit fundraisers when more people know what peer-to-peer fundraising is.
If you're a new charity, why should you try out peer-to-peer fundraising?
For organizations that are thinking about peer-to-peer fundraising, one piece of advice would be you have to be honest and upfront with your supporters that are considering peer-to-peer fundraising. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be fun, but the goal at the end of the day is that you work together to advance your mission, and that's the payoff and that's the reward. It's not easy to ask friends and family for money, but what I would suggest is you arm your supporters with a message about why your organization is making a difference and why a gift to that organization is so important. And that goes out and speaks on its own. You don't necessarily need to ask for money when you've put a compelling argument together to support a cause. People will find that cause and they'll want to be a part of it and they'll want to partner with you. But you can't go out to your organization and your supporters and promise that peer-to-peer fundraising is going to be super exciting and super fun, because it may not be for that person. So what I would recommend is that instead of trying to oversell the peer-to-peer fundraising experience, you honestly explain to them the feelings that they may go through. They may be nervous, and here's something to overcome that. Or they may wonder what to say. Well, here's a pre-written message. And they may change their mind and not do it, and that's okay, maybe next year. And make it a partnership with those peer-to-peer fundraisers, that they know that you are a trusted partner that really wants to work with them to advance the mission. And they'll see that value that they provide to your organization and really want to be a part of everything that you're doing. I think the most important thing about peer-to-peer fundraising is sharing your story. So when a supporter has a reason that they're supporting your cause and a reason that they are giving their time and their gifts to your cause, that's a compelling story. And when they share that with their friends and family will want to walk on that journey with them. Peer-to-peer fundraising doesn't always have to be about asking for a gift. Sometimes it's as simple as just telling your story and your journey with a particular organization, and friends and family will want to come on that journey with you. You may not be at a point where you're ready to go ask friends and family to give, but you might be willing to tell your story and tell how a particular organization has been a part of your life and is doing something that you feel really needs to be done.
That was our full list of questions, but do you have any closing thoughts?
One thing about peer-to-peer fundraising is that it can be hard, and that your supporters are going to know this and pick up on it. And I would just recommend that an organization that's thinking about trying this communicates with their supporters that peer-to-peer fundraising is hard and it may be uncomfortable. But guess what? Lots of important things are uncomfortable and lots of important things are hard. And at the end of the day, when you want to make real change in the world and you want to make things possible that nobody believed were possible, you might have to do things that are uncomfortable, and you might have to get out of your comfort zone, and looking back at those achievements is going to be reward in itself. Well, thanks, guys, and thank you for everything. I think it would not be an overstatement to say that we couldn't do this without the incredible partnership and support and tools and ideas and everything that CrowdRise makes possible for us to raise funds to support our organization. So just wanted to say thank you to you guys for always being there to help in any way that you can. And what I appreciate most is that you're often there to help in ways that we didn't know that we needed help, and with new ideas and fresh outlooks and things that we could be doing that we hadn't been doing yet. So wanted to say thank you and a huge shout out to the CrowdRise team for making this all possible.
Awesome. We appreciate it. You've been an incredible partner of ours. And thanks for being here today. This has been great.